I'm Deep Mahaman and you're watching the Redmen TV.
Hello, I'm Chris Pajak for the Redmen TV, and this is the considered match reaction in the aftermath of Liverpool losing 3-1 to Manchester City at the Etihad Stadium last night, to 2 goals by Jovetic, 1 by Aguero inside like 23 seconds of him coming on. We obviously got one back through Zabaleta. I think, looking at the comments on the videos, it wasn't good enough really, was it? But look, we're here for the match reaction and more importantly the YouTube comments, so I'll get straight stuck into that. I've picked some really easy names today. It's Y0DBZY. Coutinho lacks in pace. He shouldn't be playing wide. He needs to be playing central. Merino had a fucking mint game. Hope to see Markovic start at White Hart Lane because he completely changed the game when he came on. Sturridge will be banging in a lot more goals soon with his new duo, Balotelli. You'll never walk alone. Look, I think Coutinho definitely off the boil last night, wasn't he? I think first sort of 30 minutes he was a little bit more involved in the game. I didn't really like the way he started on the left. I think him and Moreno really struggled. Jamie Carragher picked up on it really well in Monday Night Football, is that Coutinho at times was left into the left back position and he doesn't want to be in that position, and Moreno really didn't bust the guts enough to swap places with him, and maybe Phil Coutinho should have stayed back there a little bit better for some of the goals and stuff. But just generally, I think Coutinho's struggled since pre-season, hasn't he? It's been a bit of a difficult one. I hope you're right, though. I hope Sturridge does start really banging in the goals with Balotelli, because I think I saw a stat. It was something like we played the Diamond last season like 9 times, and 8 of them we won, and that's something because I don't think Lambert's been playing that we haven't really got the strike force to play 2 up top, and therefore we haven't really got the strike force to play a diamond in midfield. So hopefully that'll change with the sign of Balotelli. Anyway, Craig RTID, we need to go back to 2 up top, ideally Sturridge and Balotelli. Sturridge was far too isolated up at top at times. We looked toothless in attack for the majority of the game. Yeah, I agree with that, Craig, to be honest. As I've just mentioned there, I think we do need to go back to 2 up top, Sturridge and Balotelli being the obvious 2. First half, we controlled the game, didn't we? That first 30-40 minutes, we really looked like we got into the game well. We had Man City on the back foot without actually creating too much. I think if you look at the stats at the end of the game, we had 11 shots compared to their 8, but we only had 3 shots on target compared to Man City's 4. We didn't really test hard enough, did we? Do you know what I mean? It was difficult. Jeb Byrne, just so disappointed with the performance. Their attack was so clinical and fast-paced. Do you think we can win at Spurs? Jed, I reckon we can win at Spurs. Do you know what I mean? I think we've got the talent in the squad. I think Balotelli will galvanise the squad and it'll give us a big lift, something that we need after that Man City result last night. But yeah, I do think we can win at Spurs. I think they're going to be a little bit up and down this season with Pochettino and instilling new ideas at them. You know, we were like that under Rodgers at first. We had a couple of games where we really did well and a couple where we just didn't click. Unfortunately, I think that's what happened to us last night. I think they were slick passing when they got into the final third, as opposed to us. It was just a little bit laboured. Sturridge was isolated at times, but when he drifts to that outside position, he does create the space, and it's so important for the midfield runners like Henderson, Sterling to get into those spaces, that we did that really well in the first 30 minutes. And Gerrard, I remember picking out Sterling with an unbelievable ball. We just didn't do enough of that as the game went on, and their defence was brilliant, in fairness. The chef, Stevie, is in that team by reputation only. We need to be playing a central defensive midfielder away from home against the likes of City, and even though we had a shocker last week, I would have started Lucas, even Chan, in this one over Gerrard. Squad rotation will be key this season. Chef, sign of respect there. I think you're right, mate. I think it's going to be absolutely key in the squad rotation. This early on in the season, though, I was happy with Gerrard. He got a bit of a slating last night in the comments and after the game, but I didn't really think he put a foot wrong. I thought defensively he played really well. There was a couple of occasions where he made some outstanding tackles deep into our penalty box. Look, for the goal, yeah, for the first goal he lost his man. Jovetic was his man and it was too easy, but then you could also look at Lovren's positioning and Moreno during the goal as well. So there we go. UZSAJID. Wow, why have I picked these really hard ones today? We ran out of steam after 30 minutes. I thought Hendo and Lovren had poor games as well, but Moreno looked great. Lambert should have made it 3-2 as well. Yeah, Lovren, I think, underwhelmed last night for definite. Obviously, it's difficult for him. It's a new back four again. How many times have we said this over the last 12 months? You know what I mean? Lovren and Moreno haven't started together, so there was a bit of a disconnect there in the back four, which again was picked up on Monday Night Football. Absolutely superb it was last night. Henderson, I don't know whether he had a bad game or he just wasn't as involved as he normally is. I think a poor game, maybe a bit of a stretch. I think he did all right. First 30 minutes, I think, as you say, we were brilliant. And maybe we did run out of steam, but I think, you know, that goal was a sucker punch to our team last night. I think if we'd have got the first goal, you know, that could have been a lot different, the result, you know what I mean? Anyway, Jordan Smith, would you have wanted to get Balotelli and lose to City, or beat City and not get Balotelli? I would definitely have wanted to get Balotelli and lose to City. It's not the end of the world, man. We're 2 games into the season. We're only 3 points behind them. Yeah, they've looked great. There'll be slip-ups from Manchester City and Chelsea as this season goes on. Don't worry about that. Conor Mudge, we didn't play bad. It's just Man City outplayed us. Yeah, that's a good view, actually. I think, you know, against other teams, we'd have probably got a win there. It's just that we were at the home of the champions. They were the best team in England last season. I think they're going to be up there again this year. I don't think Chelsea will last the pace. I think Man City have got the experience in the squad to go and win it again. So yeah, I think they did play really, really well. Defensively, they were absolutely sound. Di Michaelis, I laughed at him last season. He was frigging clown shoes, wasn't he? But this season and towards the end of last season, he looks a different player. And Vincent Kompany, he for me is the best centre back in world football right now. Zabaleta, I think, is an absolutely outstanding right back. I just think he's brilliant. I mean, he's 29 as well. He's not actually as old as I thought he was. You know, I think if I had a choice of any right back in world football now, it'd be Coleman. You know, and that's more based on his age. I think he's 25 years old. Zabaleta is probably the best right back in world football, in my opinion. Do you know what I mean? Philippe Lahm obviously is now playing a bit more of a central midfielder, so you know he could be up there as well. Matthew Niblet, think it's time we swap Sakho for Skrtel. Lovren screams to push the defence out, yet Skrtel is always out of position. Well, I like Sakho. I really do. I think he's going to be a really good player for us. Whether it's Skrtel that's out of position yesterday or Lovren, that's up for debate. I think most Liverpool fans would say that Lovren was out of position more yesterday. But I know what you're saying. Lovren definitely is the screamer and he is the shouter and the organiser, but you know, much the same as Flamini at Arsenal towards the end of last season, it's all very well and good screaming and shouting, but you've got to get your own positioning right as well. You can't just scream at other people if you're not in the right place, and I think that's something that we'll have to look at, and we'll have to work on it really hard. The back four was shredded last night by Nasri and Silva, and I think moving forward it's important that we sort that out. Conor Mate, Markovic was dangerous. Himself and Balotelli will be great. Man City's defence was strong, so Liverpool weren't much of a threat on the attack. Overall, mediocre performance from the Reds. Yeah, I think Markovic was dangerous when he came on. At first sort of 10 minutes when he came on, he looked a whale beater, didn't he? He looked absolutely brilliant. He did fade out of the game big time after that, though, in fairness. You know, there's flashes there of what I want to see from him, and I think he's in the conversation for Spurs with that cameo. But did he do enough for the whole time he was on? For me, probably not, to be honest with you. Callum Knight, Carragher's analysis of the defence after the game on Monday Night Football was spot on. Need to get him on board. Callum, spot on, mate. Monday Night Football was brilliant last night. Real sort of insightful comments from both Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher, as much as it pains me to say Gary Neville is an outstanding pundit. I think over the last couple of years he's probably turned Liverpool fans on that. I think we all know that he knows his stuff. I read a really interesting article on him in The Guardian, is that he basically runs that show and he's an absolute perfectionist, and you can see that, and Carragher's the same way. If there's an option to get Jamie Carragher at the football club in a defensive role, I'd be fucking first signing that petition, absolutely. On petitions, look, Glenn Johnson didn't have a great game, but let's not alienate him. He's a Liverpool player, do you know what I mean? We've got to support him when he's on the pitch. Everybody's performance is up for debate after the game. But saying things like, I hope he dies, and I hope he's injured, stuff like that, and making a petition, and asking us to sell him. That's not Liverpool, man. That's classless, do you know what I mean? That's what the Mancs should do. We are Liverpool Football Club. We need to get behind the players on the pitch, whether we like them or not, whether we think that they've performed or not. As I say, everybody's up for review, but let's not be classless about it. We are Liverpool Football Club at the end of the day. And for me, comment of the week, James Fee. I think everyone's overreacting, to be honest. It's the second game of the season against the champions. Yes, it's disappointing because we played well, but we're 3 points better off than we were last season against the Saints and City. That's right. You know, we lost to Southampton last season 1-0. I thought they were the best team that came to Anfield last season. I thought they were brilliant under Pochettino. And again, we lost away to City. So really, compared to last season, Rodgers said it in his post-match interview after the game, we're not that much worse off. It just feels, because of the manner of the performance and the fact that we didn't really create anything, because we've got this whole Suarez thing still hanging over our head, that it's the end of the world. It's not. We're 2 games into the season. There's a heck of a long way to go. We're going to improve on the Rodgers. We have every season. We've got better and better. Last season we ground out a few 1-0s at the beginning of the season. It stood us in real good stead. I think it's important that we go to Tottenham and we snot them now, do you know what I mean? But let's not worry too much. You know, last night I was devastated, as devastated as anyone can be. But now, slept on it, read loads of YouTube comments and read loads of news about Liverpool Football Club, and I've found my happy place again, do you know what I mean? It's not the end of the world. We've got Balotelli coming in. He's going to bang us some goals. Sturridge is going to feed off it. Sterling and Coutinho are going to get some more space because we've got Markovic, who's brilliant, potentially. Lallana coming back in. If we can just sort the defence out, and you know, it's not difficult stuff for the defence, it's just a few positional errors at the moment. Moreno looked brilliant going forward. Again, one error. His whole game was brilliant apart from that one error. I think if he hadn't have made that, he'd have been my Liverpool man of the match. In fact, he might have been anyway. Look, basically, yeah, comment of the week, absolutely brilliant. Let's not get too down in the dumps. We're Liverpool Football Club. We're still going to do well this season. So let's go out there and show Tottenham that we are Liverpool and we're going to smash them. Do you know what I mean? Let's get behind the boys and let's get behind Glenn Johnson as well. If he starts a game for Liverpool, let's get behind him. Let's review him after the game and have a bit of a go if he's played crap. But other than that, if he's on the pitch, let's support him. Right, that's me. That's Chris Pajak for the Redmen TV. There's the YouTube comments and the match reaction video in the bag. Mario Balotelli, the mad bastard, has signed for Liverpool Football Club in a deal of only 16 million quid.